Yo, what is going on? Cover Room Crew, welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing good as always. You know what time it is. Starts it week number 7. Lineup advice. Let's get this thing rolling. Because, these dubs got to get happening because the season is moving. It's rolling. But you know I got you covered before we get started. Optimus Fantasy. Go sign up today. Sign up and you will get your stats, your data, your advanced stats, tools, DFS tools, and much more. Use promo code COVER1. Get 70% off gold jacket coverage. I'm telling y'all, this thing is dope. You go and get it. It is good stuff. And also, go sign up for Cover One Pass membership. So many things to see and do. Members exclusively unlock access to the content suite, swag, Discord channels, fantasy football channel. Become a member today. Cover One Pass. Go get your sign up today at cover1.net. You will not regret it, man. So much good stuff going on over there. But let's talk bye-week troubles. Week number 7, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. Not so bad this week. Next week is going to be bye-week Armageddon, so this week is definitely massively important to get our dubs. There is no question. I believe 5 teams or 6 teams on the bye week next week. It's going to be a lot of trouble next week with all these injuries, but you guys know the drill, man. It is rapid fire, every team, every player. Let's kick this thing off with these Arizona Cardinals. They're taking on the Green Bay Packers. The issue at hand is, will Kyler Murray suit up in this contest? He's still questionable with a foot injury, likewise with a Zay Jones, who had a big contest last week with a Jacoby Brissett. I would caution on if Kyler does suit up. I'm looking in other directions this week. Injury risk in the red for me. While, if they say he's healthy and good to go, even against a Green Bay Packers defense that is absolutely, loaded on paper, they haven't played as such over the past several weeks. But, playing Kyler Murray, Jacoby played very well. So if you're looking for that backup quarterback and Jacoby plays, I don't hate it because he can at least sling the ball without a care or worry, where Kyler Murray's still going to be playing rather timid, even if he does have the injury. If you got a better option, I would definitely take it over a Kyler Murray this week. Michael Carter, Bam Knight, who's going to play in this contest, who's going to take the lead in this contest with a Demercado out of this game for sure. Mid-level risk for both these gentlemen. They should still split touches like they did last week. I think the coaching staff definitely is looking for who could be the volume horse in this backfield, but I still like Michael Carter on the PPR upside more than a Bam Knight, but Bam does have that TD upside as well, both getting a mid-level risk if a Jacoby Brissett does suit up in this contest, which would be better for the pass game. Marvin Harrison Jr., low upside on the mid-level risk. We will see. Coming off the concussion, kind of sucked last week. It was, something of a homecoming for him, and he did not get to perform in that contest. If he does suit up in this contest and it's Jacoby Brissett, I'm okay with it. If it's Kyler Murray, I'm kind of steering away. I don't like it, especially with this foot injury. I don't like Kyler whatsoever this week and would be fearful to even play the players on their squad if Kyler does suit up outside of the running backs, that is. Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, high risk, PPR floor respectively, not touching it. Greg Dortch does have PPR upside in deeper leagues if Zay Jones does sit in this contest. Where Trey McBride, low-level risk, fire him up. Finally unlocked the man with a Jacoby Brissett last week. That's why we're kind of hoping he starts again this week. Atlanta Falcons taking on the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football, coming off a huge victory versus my Buffalo Bills. These dirty birds, man, they made it dirty for us. Michael Penix Jr., man, it's a week-to-week league, so don't buy the hype and the bias based on last week's Monday Night Football showing. They played lights out, man, no question. Not going to, sugarcoat that for Bills fans. The Falcons definitely played great ball. Penix mid-level risk. Don't dislike the play this week as well if you are searching for a quarterback. Bijan, obviously, you're firing him up everywhere you got him. Guy's just absolutely elite. The best running back in the NFL right now. I think it's not even an argument at this point. He's so damn good. Where Tyler Algier, TD upside on the mid-level risk. The way that they're splitting carries in this offense, especially with all the injuries to the wide receiver room, I do like Algier this week versus these 49ers as well. They're going to have to run and control the clock quite a bit, in my opinion. Drake London finally had his big blow-up contest versus my Bills. Man, everything was going right for Drake London and a Michael Penix this past week. Will they be able to rectify and repeat the same type of situation versus 49ers without a Fred Warner? I do like it a lot. So Drake London, low-level risk. You fire him up everywhere you got him. Darnell Mooney still dealing with an injury, and Ray McLeod, he's been out with a coach's decision. What the hell is going on with Ray? Say, hey, Ray. We don't know what's going on with Ray. He might be dealt or cut off this roster. We saw some images of him not being happy after the victory injury. So I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but I mean, Darnell Mooney, injury risk, not touching it. Casey Washington was the preseason hype guy, but high-level risk for me. Or Kyle Pitts, low floor on the mid-level risk. There's always opportunity. You just can't trust it at this point. Hopefully you got better options at the tight end spot. Carolina Panthers taking on the New York Jets. Bryce Young and these Panthers climbing their way out of the cellar, being 3-3, looked good last week versus Dallas Cowboys, and it does, hedge on the fact of this run game with Rico Dowdle. He was running like a bat out of hell. Now Chuba is back. It does complicate matters in this backfield. I know a lot of y'all going to have questions on this one, but Bryce Young, mid-level risk versus an 0-6 Jets team, a Jets defense that isn't, what it used to be. So mid-level risk, Superflex leagues, 14-team, 16-team leagues, we can likely play a Bryce Young. 12-team leagues, I'm kind of shying away from that one. Where Rico Dowdle, low-level risk, fire him up, man. There is no way that you can convince me otherwise. It's for optics at this point. They paid Chuba, $40 million? So you know he's going to get touches. It's not just going to go for waste on the bench, but Rico has, when have we seen a running back produce that type of yardage, man? 450-plus yards in 2 games on a team like the Carolina Panthers, and you're going to tell me that you're going to remove touches from this man? I don't see it. I think Rico still gets a lot of carries in this contest where Chuba could get the start, and they'll kind of nurse him back and say, he was injured, and we're going to nurse him back along. I still like the play of Rico this week, where Chuba, we will see mid-level risk. I'm going to lean on it. If the coach, usually does speak truth, but I'm going to sit here and say it's Rico over Chuba this week, and we'll reevaluate in week number 8. Ted McMillan, good upside in the green. He's been performing very well. Just continue to give this man as many targets as humanly possible, and he will repay you, Bryce. Telling y'all, love the play of a McMillan this week as well. We're Xavier Legette, low floor, mid-level risk, not near enough to trust in fantasy football. And Jalen Coker, the cokehead, he's back. Boomer bust on the red. He's going to take a little bit to get back into football shape, not touching him this week. Where Jatavion Sanders is back from injury as well. We'll just give him a high-level risk, as they might want to try to figure out what they got in this offense. A lot of weapons, youthful weapons on this Panthers offense, no question. Chicago Bears taking on the New Orleans Saints. This could be a nice cupcake matchup for a Caleb Williams and company, so Ben Johnson can absolutely open up this playbook. Caleb, low-level risk. He's been killing it, man. 4 boom games, 100 points. He missed Rome Odunze. Everyone's saying, he missed Rome. He split the targets. Could have been a touchdown. As soon as he saw those double teams and then he started to run, that the safety started pulling up. So pump the brakes on that one. But Caleb and this offense with a Ben Johnson, they're starting to improve. Still got some misses from Caleb, but it is improving. That's what we wanted to see. That's everything I wanted to see about the halfway point of the season as we're getting closer. I'm telling y'all, Caleb and Ben have been moving in the right direction. And the Bears fans, you got to be liking what you're seeing. Even at 3-2, just be patient, man. Got to crawl before you walk. DeAndre Swift dealing with a groin injury after a massive contest last week on Monday Night Football. Good upside in the green. The indication is he had said to reporters he is going to suit up in this contest. That's good enough for me, man. Good upside in the green. Fire up a DeAndre Swift everywhere you got him, because nobody else is taking carries away from him. Monangai or a Roschon Johnson, they're not touching the ball at this point. Swift is the man with the plan. DJ Moore, low floor on the mid-level. He was dealing with an injury. Very strange. He went to the hospital after that last contest as well, and then we didn't really hear much of it. He's not even on the injury report, but they're saying he's less than 100%. Very odd when it comes to a DJ Moore low floor, mid-level risk, because of guys like Rome Odunze, low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. 4 boom games, and he's doing extremely well, man. He's wide receiver 10 in half PPR leagues. Just killing it, man. Almost 80 points on the board for Rome. You fire him up everywhere he got him. Likewise with Luther Burden. I absolutely love the flex appeal wide receiver 3 play here because of DJ Moore not being 100%. I think it's about time they start to get Luther in the mix, because that could make a DJ Moore expendable via the trade market in the NFL, and it could be Rome and Luther moving forward, because it is, like I've been saying since they drafted him, it is a redundancy between DJ Moore and Luther Burden. Very similar skill sets. Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland still on my high-level risk. I do not like the play of either gentleman this week. Cleveland Brownies taking on the Miami Dolphins. Dylan Gabriel came back down to life. And that wasn't a shock to me. What I tell y'all, man, rookies that get their first start, there's no tape on them. They don't know how to attack them properly at that point. They got one game of tape, and Dillon Gabriel looked like ass last week. And I don't foresee it changing this week. Weather's supposed to be extremely bad. A lot of wind gusts and rain in this contest, saying 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Not good news for throwing the football. High-level risk for Dillon Gabriel. Good news for Q Judkins. Volume upside in the green. They should run the rock a lot in this contest. Control the ball. Control the clock. Try to get some rushing touchdowns. And Miami is very susceptible to giving up lots of yards on the ground. So Q is definitely on my boom targets. He's a must-play for me this week, where Dylan Sampson may get a roll, but it is high-level risk for me. Jerry Jeudy, like I said last week, just can't trust it. Low upside, mid-level, just not enough targets to make him fantasy relevant this season. 34 points in 6 games is just terrible for a wide receiver one in this league. Do not like it. Likewise with Isaiah Bond, Jamari Thrash, because David Njoku is out. Thrash and Bond should fill in. Tillman still on injured reserve. I don't like the play of any of these guys as well, because this pass game at this point just cannot support it. We're a Harold Fannin Jr., only Fannins. Telling y'all 3 boom games, no Njoku, good upside, man. Even though it is going to be windy, lots of check downs, lots of upside, lots of short passes from the quarterback to try to open up this pass game a little bit. So we shall see, but I do like the play of Harold Fannin. There could be some touchdowns coming his way. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders, the Commies. Dallas Cowboys coming off another terrible loss. I mean, we're talking about Dak Prescott in the MVP race. I mean, with these losses, you can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, he's putting up very good numbers, but you're not willing your team to victory at this point. Still, for fantasy football, low-level risk. In a big divisional contest, fire him up everywhere. He got him 4 boom games, almost 130 points. Dak has been slinging the ball, and the good news is that CeeDee Lamb is back for this contest, as they're saying today. Love the play of a Dak with CeeDee back, and Javonte Williams, low-level risk. It's been a little rough sledding the past 2 games. We can absolutely fire him up again this week, as well as they should get back to the ground and pound. Where Jaden Blue, the blueprint, high-level risk. Man, they're just not giving him any touches whatsoever. But CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, PPR upside for CD. We're low-level risk for George. Everyone's going to get shy because, CD's going to take the bread out of George Pickens' mouth. I think this could actually work for the benefit of George that much more, because now he played that wide receiver 1 role to absolute perfection. Now you get CeeDee Lamb back. Who the hell are these defenders going to cover and focus on? It's going to be CeeDee Lamb. So George Pickens for me, low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. CeeDee Lamb, PPR upside in the green, but I do caution because, what has it been? 3 weeks since his ankle injury, and that's a high ankle, or is it 4 weeks at this point? So, I mean, it is the appropriate rest and time off for him to be recovered. But, it takes a couple games. But CeeDee Lamb, you got him. We obviously got to fire him up as well. George might just have a better game in this one as well. Jalen Tolbert becomes the afterthought like a Flournoy, not touching it this week. And Jake Ferguson continues his torrid pace. 5 boom games, almost 80 points. We fire him up everywhere we got him. Denver Broncos taking on the New York Giants. The Big Blue, man, they're improving in New York in a very big way, where the Denver Broncos, I'm kind of still unsure about who they are overall, man. So many weapons, so many mouths to feed, and you still feel like you're lulling these games, man. You're just not as explosive as you were in Bo Nix's rookie season. That's something of a concern for me. Mid-level risk against a Giants front 7 that can absolutely come with the bum rush at the quarterback. I do like this front 7, even though Abdul Carter is dealing with an injury, man. You still got Tibby, and you still got a Burns. They will come after Bo Nix in a big way. Mid-level risk might look for other options over a Bo Nix. J.K. Dobbins, even though stats do suggest that overall, over the first 7 weeks, the Giants are susceptible to the run game. They have improved over the last 2 weeks, and they figured some things out. Mid-level risk for J.K. coming off a bust game. If you don't have better options, I get it. If you do, take him. I don't like the play this week for better or worse. If he pops off, that'll be my bad, but I just don't like the play versus Giants front 7 that is looking to have figured things out and are playing better ball on the offensive side. RJ Harvey would be the PPR upside play for me over J.K. Dobbins. If the run game is getting stuffed early on, they might go into the short pass game with an RJ, which would promote better play this way for him. So for me, PPR upside in those leagues, go for an RJ over JK this week. It won't last forever, but this week I just don't like it. Cortland Sutton, TD upside in the green after having a bust game of his own last week, should get back on track with at least scoring a tutty this week, and I do like his play. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, not touching it, high level risk, low floor respectively, where Evan Ingram, target upside in the mid-level is here. Just haven't seen him hit a boom game just yet, but it is getting closer by the week. Detroit Lions taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Jared Goff, baby, low-level risk. Fire him up. Bake Show and Jared Goff. This is going to be a show. I'm telling y'all, lots of points should be on the board, even though the Buccaneers are extremely short-handed. Jared Goff, he hasn't been this revelation in this offense like he was last season, but this is a contest, 5-1 versus 4-2. He's got to come with his best. There is no question. Jahmyr Gibbs, Gibby, and Monty Show. We saw Coach Campbell discuss the fact they want to get Monty more touches, create that more balance like they had last year where they were extremely dominant on the ground. Low-level risk for both Gibby and Monty. I absolutely love the play of both them versus the Buccaneers. And Monty in these games where the defensive line is very stout seems to run that much better, and I do like the play of both of them obviously this week. Monty for sure I'm playing in all my leagues. Amon-Ra St. Brown, low-level risk, fire him up. He should have a very nice day. Very sound day. Wasn't his best last week, but he should be much better in this contest where J-Mo, like I said, boomer bust TD upside last week. He's on the mid-level risk. Just got to continue to get this kid more involved. He's got too much ability, too much speed to not give him at least those 5 targets per game, but I do feel we could see a big heaping of running in this contest, so pick your poison on J-Mo. I'm not the biggest fan of the play this week. Where Sam Laporta, mid-level risk, he's Laporting back up into the rankings. I do like it a lot. They're utilizing him a lot more as well, and if they do 12-man personnel, Sam Laporta should never leave the field and get a lot of play action pass. Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Jordan Love, feeling the love for love. They're coming off the bye week. Good news for them. They tied the Dallas Cowboys before they went into the bye. Low-level risk, fire up Jordan Love. A good week off. Josh Jacobs is the concern right now for me. Sick and a calf issue, but, he should be good enough to produce if he is on the field. I haven't seen anything to suggest that it is going to be bad for him this week. He should be playing. That's the thing I'm trying to get at. I haven't seen anything to refute that at this point. Being sick, he's going to get some IVs, but that calf injury did pop up late in the week, so it is something to watch, but I don't foresee him missing. Low-level risk for Josh Jacobs. We obviously fire up one of the best running backs in fantasy football. Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Romeo, TD upside for Golden. Had a nice show, the past contest that he was in. And TD upside on the mid-level risk. They are starting to expand his role as well. Did I say that they were on the bye? I got to check that. It might be a mistake, and it's kind of messing with my head right now. But Matthew Golden, TD upside on the mid-level risk. I do like the play again this week versus these Arizona Cardinals. They got to start, spreading the ball down the field that much more with a Jordan Love. Get this pass game going that much better. But Matthew Golden, for me, good flex option, low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 is kind of where I'm going with him. Where Romeo Dobbs, he always does that. It goes off for that massive blow-up game, and then he disappears for 6 weeks. It's kind of that situation again. PPR floor, mid-level risk, pick your poison. He should have a decent contest, should at least get 5 to 6 targets. Don't dislike Romeo in deeper leagues. Dontavian Wicks dealing with an injury. We're not touching it anyway. Where Tucker Kraft, low-level risk, fire him up everywhere he got him. Like I said last week, he would score a TD. And that's exactly what he did. He should pick up where he left off. Houston Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Doubleheader Monday, if I'm not mistaken, on that one as well. Good Lord. With these doubleheader Mondays, I do like the one game, man. I'd like to just sit and watch one game on Monday. Come on, NFL. Trying to print more money. But CJ Stroud, they're coming off the bye week. Houston Texans, I think I mixed up that with Green Bay Packers. But CJ Stroud, low-level risk. For me, against Seahawks, who have been struggling on the back end, their front seven is absolutely stellar and making a nightmare for the run game versus opponents most of the season. CJ Stroud, going into the bye week, had himself a very good show. I do think they should pick up where they left off. Low-level risk for me. If you are streaming quarterbacks this week, CJ Stroud should be a decent floor, anywhere from 16 to 18 points with an upside of 25. I do like it quite a bit, man. Nick Chubb, Woody Marks. We got a Woody Chubb in the house, man. Both on the mid-level risk for me. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go Chubb over Woody, but it is one of those situations. It's one of these backfields I typically stay away from. I understand a lot of y'all picked up Woody off the open market. So for me, Chubb this week over Woody, and then we'll see how it does play. But I think you can suit up both these gentlemen this contest, as it's going to be all hands on deck. Nico Collins, low-level risk, fire him up obviously everywhere you got him. But Jaden Higgins, Christian Kirk, high-level risk, not touching it. And continuing, even though Dalton Schultz had himself a better contest before they went in the bye, I still don't like him, man. His floor is like 3 to 4 points, and it just cripples us. PPR floor, high-level risk. Indianapolis Colts taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a nice one, too, man, as these Chargers continue to get injured. They're trying to keep pace. 4-2 versus 5-1. Daniel Jones, Daniel Pennies. He's been doing so damn good, man. 5 boom games in this offense. He looks so comfortable, and it is a very good situation. We do see that Josh Downs, we're always down for Downs, but he's down this week with a concussion, is out of this contest. But Daniel Jones still got more than enough weapons to feed the ball to. Low-level risk, we fire him up versus an injured Los Angeles Chargers team where Jonathan Taylor, JT, 6 boom games, 6 games played. This guy's killing this league right now, 135 points. Low-level risk, we're obviously playing him everywhere we got him. Where Amir Abdullah starting to jump a DJ Giddens right now. Don't like that. I'm a huge Giddens supporter as well, but he's getting sprinkles, not near enough for fantasy. Just let you guys know the depth order and pecking order right now for these running backs. Amir Abdullah seemingly has jumped a DJ Giddens at this point. Michael Pittman, low-level risk. Now with no Josh Downs, we saw a little bit more attention to getting Downs the football the past 2 weeks. Michael Pittman should absolutely get his majority share of targets in this contest with a Downs and a Doolin out of this contest as well. Pittman is a must-play versus these LA Chargers. Adonai Mitchell, AD, has he learned from his mistakes? The coaches basically benched him last week, saying, yeah, you're going to learn. You're going to watch, and you're going to understand. PPR floor, mid-level risk. I think this could be a big-time sleeper play in this contest where a lot of people won't be expecting a lot from an AD. Maybe he has learned. If he hasn't, this is bad news for his career. This is a contest I fully expect him to be 100% better than what he has been after, the dropping problem, the touchdown issue, the penalty on JT's run, and then sitting in the press box watching the game. This should be AD day. I'm telling y'all, man. PPR floor, mid-level risk, definitely sleeper boom appeal does rest here. Where Alec Pierce, mid-level risk, he's good enough for 4 targets and going deep at least once or twice. Potential TD upside does exist, but it still is a risk to trust. Where Tyler Warren, low-level risk, man, fire him up obviously everywhere he got him. 5 boom games. This rookie has been absolutely stellar this season with a Daniel Jones, Daniel Pennies. It's been good in Indianapolis, man. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the LA Rams in London across the pond. Trevor Lawrence, sunshine. Okay, they're looking better. They don't have a Devin Lloyd this week at linebacker. That's a big loss for this defense. So we'll see how it does shake down with the Rams. But Trevor Lawrence, mid-level risk. The only reason why for me it's the caution is that the Rams still come after the quarterback extremely well. And I do foresee them coming after Trevor Lawrence a lot with the rush. So this could hamper a lot of his stats. Maybe they do force some turnovers as well. Mid-level risk. Don't dislike the play if you're in super flex leagues as well. Single quarterback redraft leagues, I don't know, man. I think I'd look for a better option for me in this contest, but Trevor Lawrence floor is becoming more and more safe on the weekly. Travis Etienne, good floor in the green, even though he's busted the past 2 games. I think this could be a big-time show where they're going to try to feed this man the rock. Got to get back to the ground game, but you saw they were trying to get Brian Thomas Jr. back in the mix. Still haven't gotten a Travis Hunter, loaded up with targets as well. So Travis Etienne's, volume came at the expense of all those targets going to a BTJ. So I think it's going to be rectified a little bit more, cause a little bit more balance in this offense. Etienne, I do like the play of Etienne this week quite a bit, actually, where Bashal Tutin, high-level risk, his role has faded since his opening contest where he did look good. Just not running near enough as much as they used to. Brian Thomas Jr., mid-level risk for me. I do like the play, but I'm still capping him at a mid-level only because we're still not seeing that high-end game yet. We saw, the 80, 90 yards last week was a good contest, man. But I'm telling y'all, this week versus the LA Rams, they're going to have to play lights out in England, so we will see. I do like the play of BTJ. I'm just tempering my expectations. Travis Hunter, high-level risk. Diami Brown, high-level risk. Do not like it. Diami's coming off an injury as well. Where Hunter Long, mid-level risk. risk. I do like the play of Long this week. I think there is some PPR upside. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs get Rashee Rice back. That is the story of the week. And Patrick Mahomes and company, I mean, they 3-3. They look good last week, and now they're getting Rashee Rice back. Now the weapons are all here, man. Hollywood, Rice, Xavier Worthy, this team could actually become what everyone thought they were and not a 3-3 club. Low-level risk for a Patrick Mahomes. He's had a very good bounce-back season. I did say this in the offseason. I foresee a bounce-back season for Mahomes fantasy-wise because of how bad it was last year. You're just not going to keep this guy down 2 seasons in a row. Low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere you got him versus a lowly Raiders team, man. Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt for me. Low floor for a Pacheco, mid-level risk. Kareem Hunt, TD upside on the mid-level risk. I think this is a Kareem Hunt game for me. I do like it a lot. I do believe that there is a boom potential here. The run game with Pacheco just has not been great and sustainable when Kareem Hunt's on the field. They tend to run a little bit better, and there is better PPR upside. So if they do get inside the goal line, inside the red zone, I do like a Kareem Hunt scoring a TD this week. So for me, it's Hunt over Pacheco for better or worse. Rashee Rice, low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. They said they're going to pepper him with targets. There's going to be nothing short of them just giving everything he can handle. Fire him up. We've drafted him, put him on the bench as an injury for 6 weeks. It's time to unleash the man. Fire up Rice everywhere. You got him. Hollywood, he takes a little bit of a seat back, man. PPR floor on a high-level risk. I don't like the play with Rice back, as it should be high dedication to getting him the football. Likewise with a Juju, high-level risk, not touching him, but Xavier Worthy, mid-level risk. He gets to go back into his role of blowing up the defense. I do like the flex play of Worthy and Rice as my starting wide receiver this week. Big time. And Travis Kelce might get a week off this week, mid-level risk, now that Rashee Rice is back in the mix. It's going to be very interesting how these Chiefs do operate with Rice back. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Justin Herbert, Herbie. Take a breath, man. Take a deep breath. Low-level risk versus these Colts. He's going to have to show out, man. Play exceptionally well. I don't understand what happened last week. No QJ, and you did not force feed a Keenan Allen. I don't understand, man. You were trying to get your run game going. I get it, man. Vidal had a good game, but Ladd got back in the mix. But how they did not feed an Allen, that's 3 bust games in a row for Keenan. I absolutely don't like it. Herbert this week, if it is going to turn into a shootout, he's going to have to play lights out. I'd like to play low-level risk, 5 boom games for Herbie. He's had a very strong season. Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal, TD dependencies for Haskins, even though Coach Harbaugh says he's getting the start this week again. Vidal was the PPR guy, man, but he did perform way better than Haskins did. TD dependency mid-level for Haskins, where Kamani Vidal mid-level risk. I would start a Vidal over Haskins this week. Ladd McConkey, he's a good lad. Good floor. He's finding his groove back, almost 60 points, and Herbert's starting to toss him the football, but it is coming at the expense of others. I don't understand. Where we also saw Oronde Gadsden get into the mix over Keenan Allen. Maybe coverage is just going to that side that much more, and Herbert's just taking what the defense gives him. Can't fault him for it. But Ladd McConkey, good floor on the green. Do like the play where QJ, he's back. No, not on the injury report, I should say, this week, which is good news. Low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him because he was just killing it before he went down, and this will spread out the defenses quite a bit with his speed, and maybe that was the missing elixir for a Keenan as well. He needs somebody to pull coverage from his side, and Keenan Allen, PPR upside on the mid-level risk. They're going to have to put all hands on deck. I like all 3 wide receivers this week over the tight end Oronde Gadsden, where he did have 8+ points last week. High-level risk for me, as they should go back to the well and feed these wide receivers. Los Angeles Rams taking on Jaguars in London, like I'm saying. Matthew Stafford, good floor in the green. Was not a great show last week. Weather was an issue. They could not get in a groove early, and they just, tried to claw their way back. Now they got no Puka. He's gone this contest with an ankle injury. Blake Corum dealing with an ankle as well. But Stafford, good floor on the green. Finally, we get to kind of see what an offense would look like with Stafford and Devontae alone, and I think Devontae's going to have a very strong contest. Fire up Adams, and you can play a Stafford this week, especially, like I said, without a Devin Lloyd. This is a big-time news over the middle for these LA Rams. I do like the play of both Stafford and a Devontae Adams. Kyron Williams should get the stud start of the week, like I said, without a Devin Lloyd. His name is evading me. I love the play of Kyron, especially with no Puka. He should get a lot of play work in the pass game as well. They're going to lean a lot on Kyron, a lot on Devontae, fire up the 3-3 without even thinking about it. Jordan Whittington, PPR upside, he's going to be the replacement. I'm a big fan. I do like his game. Liked him all the way back at Texas. He was a good quality wide receiver. There is something of a dropping problem, but it's just simply due in part to lack of reps. He needs more time on the field, and I do like the flex play of him as well. If you're struggling for a wide receiver, if you are a Puka owner and you want to replace him, you could do a lot worse than Jordan Whittington because Stafford will look for him in that direction quite a bit. Where Tutu Atwell, boomer bust on the red, where Tyler Higbee could be the biggest beneficiary this week without Puka. He is absolutely in the conversation of playing at the tight end spot, mid-level risk for me. I like Tyler Higbee a lot this week as well. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And we know the history, man. The Raiders play these Chiefs extremely difficult every single season they play. We'll see. It's a new regime, new team as well this year, so we'll see how they do perform. But they give the Chiefs a run for their money every single time. Geno, he's got to stop throwing interceptions, man. League leader in interceptions this season, reverting back to the terrible Geno days. Go back to Seattle where you found your mojo, man. Bring it over to Vegas. I don't understand what's going on. Mid-level risk. Do not like the play of Geno. He's going to throw picks this week or fumble the football versus still a very stout Kansas City Chiefs defense. Ashton Jeanty, excuse me. This is a big contest for Jeanty as well. I want to see what he does versus defensive front. It's going to be a very big test. 4 boom games for Jeanty. He's looked good, man, when called upon, given a bigger workload. He's answered the bell and done very well so far in 6 contests. So low-level risk, we obviously playing him this week, where Jacoby Myers was dealing with a knee and toe, where Brock Bowers, he's a doubtful on the knee. Jacoby, I'm not trusting. Haven't trusted it much this season at all. A lot of talk, trade rumors for him as well. So I'm going on away from a Jacoby Myers at this point. I think there are much better options. Like a Trey Tucker, he has found a lot of good upside. 74 points, good upside in the green for me. You play a Tucker over Myers this week for me. Dante Thornton Jr. been an afterthought basically all season long. And with no Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer is back in the mix. Had himself a very good show last week. He should continue mid-level risk even versus these Kansas City Chiefs. Miami Dolphins taking on the Cleveland Brownies. Tua Tagovailoa, he had to apologize for his statements. And I mean, what are you doing, dude? I mean, you calling out your entire organization, calling out your team. I didn't like the look of it whatsoever. Absolutely pathetic. I'm going to even say it, man. It was just not a good look. Tua, he apologized, but this team is fractured, man. They need a complete rebuild. Mid-level risk for Tua in a game where that's going to be extremely windy. They're going to come with short passes, a lot of run game, maybe some screens, and at least Miami does this decently well. Floor for a Tua, 10 to 12 points, or the ceiling could be about 16. Don't like the play of Tua unless you're desperate at this point, where Devin off the A-chain, been one of the most consistent running backs this season throughout his entire career. What I see, 33 out of 39 games, he scored a touchdown. That's absolutely ridiculous, man. That's like Marshall Faulk numbers. Low-level risk for Achane. Fire him up if we got him. They're going to utilize him a lot. Where Ollie Gordon, my dude Ollie, just has not been getting anything in terms of volume. He's on a volume floor in the red. We can't trust it, but they should run the football a lot in this contest if the weather is as bad as they suggest. But we still can't play Ollie. I'm just thinking that he should get more touches this week. Where Jalen Waddle time, mid-level risk. Short passes, slants are very good. Drags good. Screens are good for Jalen, so that we can still play him on the mid-level risk, even versus a defense that is very stout in Cleveland. Waddle should at least get his 7 to 8 targets. Even in a windy contest, he should have a good floor for us. We're Malik Washington and a Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. High-level risk, don't like it, can't trust it. We're Darren Waller, low-level risk. 3 boom games, 3 games played. He's continuing, found his way into the end zone, saved us. I was begging for that touchdown last week, and he definitely gave it to us. Fire him up everywhere he got him. Like I said, lots of checkdowns, short passes in this contest. Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. You got a revenge game, Carson Wentz. I'm a sucker for a revenge game. Only one time I did it was with Stephon Diggs, and that had to be some bias. I'm just kidding. I had never any bias in my evaluation, but that was the only one that I ever regret not saying play a revenge game. Revenge for a Carson Wentz, abso-freaking-lutely you do that. I love the play, man. It's going to be, a huge risk to huge boom. I think he's going to play very well. The Eagles are struggling. 2 losses in a row. They're going to bring their A game. There's no question. But Carson Wentz definitely has got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to want to prove it to his former club. I like the revenge game on the mid-level risk. Jordan Mason, volume floor, coming off the bye week, should be much better. I was dealing with a fumbling issue as well. We absolutely fire him up as Jalen Carter may sit out of this contest as well. So keep tabs on that. If Carter sits, absolutely fire up a Mason as well. Justin Jefferson, low-level risk, especially with how bad the Eagles secondary is struggling. We play JJ and we play a Jordan Addison. TD upside on the mid-level risk for an Addy. I do like the play a lot, man. 2 games back from suspension. He's a baller, man. Just got to get him those 6-7 targets, even though a majority of that goes to a Justin Jefferson. Addison, we can definitely suit up this week as well. We're Jalen Naylor, high-level risk, and TJ Hawkinson. I do like Hawkinson this week, as well as Carson Wentz is going to have to find his safety blanket quite a bit in this contest. New England Patriots taking on Tennessee Titans. Drake May and company, they jumped the Bills in this division. Now they are leading. Crazy, I can't believe it. Low-level risk, fire up Drake everywhere you got him. Vrabel's revenge game here. He's going to have something to say, but I mean, those Titans did fire their head coach. They will be looking for blood in this contest. This has upset of the week written all over it in Tennessee. I'm just saying, I'm not going to call it. I'm just saying it could be happening. Don't be surprised. But Drake May's played exceptionally well. Fire him up everywhere you got him. But what do we do with this running back room? Another situation where we're like, what the hell are you doing, Josh McDaniels? Call better plays for Trevion. He's calling just running back dives for this guy. Get him in open space. Get him off the tackle. Get him off the edge. What are you doing, Josh McDaniels? Low floor, mid-level risk for Trevion. There's nothing else I can say, man. Until further notice, play at your own risk. I can't do it. I mean, deeper leagues you can, but outside of that, 12-team leagues, it's impossible to trust him right now, and it is due in part to circumstance, not skill set. So low floor, mid-level risk. Where Ramondre Dre, he saw a crap contest last week himself as the Patriots just decided to throw the football a lot. Mid-level risk for Ramondre. They should get back on the ground against these Titans this week. Stephon Diggs, we can Diggs it. Mid-level risk for Diggs this week. He was dealing with a chest injury, so they may curtail back some targets this week in hopes not to aggravate his injury that much further. We're Demario Douglas, PPR floor on the red. He had finally his breakout contest last week. They should go back to the well a little bit. There is PPR floor here, but I mean, he just needs more targets to come in his direction. We're Kayshon Boutte. You like Booty? We got some Boutte mid-level risk for me. I do like Boutte again this week, especially with Diggs not being 100%. We're Hunter Henry, TD dependency now. 3 bust games in a row, and he has fallen out of the tight end 1 spot all the way down to tight end 8 because his play over the last 3 weeks has not been great. I mean, but this week, I think there are better options as well. I don't like the play of a Hunter Henry. New Orleans Saints taking on the Chicago Bears. Spencer Rattler, my guy, man. He's played well in football terms. Fantasy football terms, not so much. I mean, it's been okay. You could get so much worse than Spencer Rattler, but I mean, low floor. We're not touching it in fantasy football, but why is it important about Rattler? Because it impacts everybody on this offense. Alvin Kamara's seen a haircut back as well. You know, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, just not top-end points like we're hoping. Alvin Kamara said if they trade him, he's going to retire somewhere. That's some bold statement right there. Mid-level risk for a Alvin Kamara. They got to utilize him. We're obviously playing him. Mid-level risk goes to the point of suggesting that if they don't give him the touches, he can't score the points, and he just has not looked like Alvin Kamara of old this season, but we still got to suit him up. Where Kendre Miller, volume dependency, is not touching it. CO2, Chris Olave, my guy, man. Mid-level risk. Rashid Shaheed, mid-level risk. You got to play him. I do like the play of both these gentlemen as well. There are some injuries on that Chicago back end as well. Spencer Rattler in Chicago, it's one of those risks. That's why I'm saying if it's me, it's Rashid Shaheed over at Chris Olave. They should test him deep, and there could be some TD upside as well in that sense. Where Taysom Hill, TD floor, mid-level risk. He could vulture some TDs this week like he did last week. I do like the play of Taysom this week over at Juwan. We're low upside now, man. 3 games in a row. He was great early on. And then Taysom Hill comes back and he takes away all of his thunder. Juwan goes back to his non-existent role in New Orleans. I will never understand the dynamics with a Taysom Hill. New York Giants take on the Denver Broncos. Huge test for a Jackson Dart in this defense. Patrick Surtain and company. We will see what they do accomplish. Jackson Dart mid-level risk. They're looking great, and it is all behind the running of a Cam Skattebo. Jackson Dart mid-level, I don't like the play this week. I think this is going to be a very big test for him, and if he does pass it with flying colors, man, I mean, what else negative can you say about the young man? He's just absolutely answered the bell every time they're asking him, but I just don't like it for fantasy football. Will be a big learning curve this week for Jackson Dart. Cam Sketabo, obviously you're firing him up. This man could run through a brick wall, and he doesn't even care. He'll smile and point and wave. No question, man. Sketabo is definitely one of these guys. He is a bruiser, and he's going to be piling up the points once again. Tyrone Tracy does come back from injury, but high-level risk, especially the way Cam has been running. Tracy may get his handful of touches this week coming off the injury, but this backfield right now belongs to a Cam Sketabo. Wandale Robinson with no Darius Slayton. Target upside being in the slot should be the primary once again, but we'll see how Patrick Surtain does follow any wide receiver on this team. It's going to be easier because it is Wandale, it is Humphrey, it is Hyatt, so you're not talking the elite of the elites in the NFL at the wide receiver position, but Wandale, target upside, mid-level risk. I do like a LaJordan Humphrey. This is, if I'm not mistaken, he played for the Broncos. This is a revenge game for him as well. Boomer bust on the mid-level risk. So, I mean, deeper leagues, Humphrey is there, definitely sleeper appeal, but it's very much a high risk, high reward. Jalen Hyatt not touching it, high level risk. This guy just does not know how to play football. We're TD dependency for a Theo Johnson. There will be better days. I'm looking in other directions than Theo this week. New York Jets taking on the Carolina Panthers. Justin Fields, we're flirting with the opportunity of starting a Tyrod Taylor. Haven't seen anything to suggest that Fields is sitting this week as well. So mid-level risk for a Fields versus a front of Carolina that can come after the quarterback. This is a big-time contest. Don't get it twisted. Even though they beat the Dallas Cowboys, this Jets team overall, they need to do something, and it's got to start with Justin Fields, but it's going to come at an expense because there is no Garrett Wilson. He's gone out of this contest with a knee injury, so it is Breece Hall and a Justin Fields. You got to believe it's run the football, and run the frickin' football here in New York this week. Isaiah, I like the play of a Breece Hall mid-level. I would look in another direction for a Justin Fields. Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Arian Smith, high-level risk. Isaiah Davis, high-level risk. I do not like anything outside of Breece Hall this week on this Jets team, where Mason Taylor, I do like the play mid-level risk, as he could be legitimately the number one target for a Justin Fields if it is so versus Carolina Panthers. Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Jalen Hurts and company, low-level risk. Still got you 20-plus last week. 125 points. We play Jalen Hurts everywhere we got him because the rushing upside and the ability to do the tush-push for the touchdowns is always on tap and on point, man. Saquon, bounce back week this week. He had, under 10 for the first time in how long? He's overworked. He's fatigued. He's dealing with his own ailments as well. Still, bounce back in the green. We fire up Saquon everywhere we got him, and this is a big contest, man. They cannot drop 3 in a row. I do believe they will come back with a lot of Saquon in this contest. Will Shipley obviously not touching it, but A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Smitty, mid-level risk for me until they figure out this pass game to high-end levels. Man, we're going to see these points be that yo-yo up and down. Smitty should get back to goods, but they are utilizing a Dallas Goedert a heck of a lot, and I, for one, love it because that was my pick this offseason for these Eagles, Dallas Goedert being that top-heavy guy. So for me, if I'm picking one this week, it's Smitty over an A.J. Brown, and obviously Dallas Goedert, man, low-level risk. You fire him up everywhere you got him because his role has just expanded and worked beautifully, where Jahan Dotson not touching it this week, high-level risk. San Francisco 49ers take on the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football. 4-2 with all these injuries. Can almost not even fit it on my graphics. Brock Purdy ruled out of this contest. Mac Money Jones does get the start once again this week. Juwan Jennings still dealing ankle, shoulder, ribs. This guy is just completely broken. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, he's a calf injury. They sent him to IR. Ricky Purcell's dealing with a knee injury, still out, but George Kittle is returning from injured reserve, said he's going to play in this contest. So we got George back, the People's tight end, which is great, but Mac Jones, as good as Atlanta Falcons, if the Atlanta Falcons defense is at rushing the passer, this could be another long day for a Mac Jones. Could be laying on his back on the turf quite a bit. But there is good upside on the mid-level risk, especially with the fact that he does get George Kittle back. I do like that a lot. There is a risk to it, but 15 points shouldn't be out of the question for a Mac Money Jones. Christian McCaffrey, low-level risk, 6 games, 6 boom games, 125 points. It's CMC, baby. the Achilles be damned. He's just absolutely killing it. Where Brian Robinson Jr. not touching it. Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, for my money, I'm still going Kendrick Bourne over Juwan until Juwan is healthy. He's saying he's dealing with all these injuries. He's one shot away from sitting on that bench. So Kendrick Bourne again this week for me. Good upside in the green. Injury risk for a Jennings. Don't like it. Where George Kittle, the People's tight end, low-level risk. Fire him up. He's going to want to make an instant impact in this contest. Where Jake Tunge's target floor now does downgrade him to being a non-existent member, but they should utilize 12-man personnel quite a bit and get two tight ends on the field at the same time. But Kittle over Tunges for me this week in his return. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Houston Texans. Monday Night Football. Sam Darnold, good upside in the green. Even versus this stingy, secondary of the Houston Texans. Sam Darnold's just been stellar this season. Very consistent overall. Gives us the point totals that we require. We can play Sam Darnold this week as well in prime time. K9, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Don't like what the coach said, man. They said, we want to get Kenny more touches, but I don't want to forget about guys like Charbonnet. K9 is your lead back. If you don't like him, trade him away and make Charbonnet your lead dog, man. Bounce back game for Kenny Walker. I think that one is more coach speak to be like, be aloof and be, we're not playing K9. I think he bounces back this week. 2 weeks in a row. I think it was more volume, curtailing volume. They just want to limit his volume, limit his touches, just so he protects his body so he's not getting hurt, because the games that he was playing was taking a lot of volume, and we know in K9's history, he goes to the medical room a lot, so they definitely were managing his touches. That's the word I'm looking for, but I do believe a bounce-back week is coming. Zach Charbonnet, always good for TD upside, mid-level risk, but I do like K9 over a Charbonnet this week. Charbonnet, Jackson Smith, no Jigba, JSN, fire him up. Obviously, he's been killing it, man. Catch here, 20 yards. Catch here, 15 yards. He's one of the best wide receivers, one of the best young wide receivers, I should say, and he's just scratching the surface. This kid's absolutely lights out. Where Cooper Kupp finds his way into the end zone. I don't like it this week versus this Houston Texans secondary. Target floor on the mid-level risk, but I think the floor is likely anywhere 5 to 8 points unless he finds his way into the end zone. I do not like it. Torrey Horton, boomer bust weeks continue. It's very difficult to trust. I don't like it this week as the Texans do play safeties extremely deep and they can play them well. I don't foresee him breaking free. Where A.J. Barner could be the guy that you're looking for this week. TD upside in the green, and I do think that they will utilize him quite a bit in this contest. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. Monday Night Football, baby. If the Buccaneers had all hands on deck with Emeka, with Mike Evans, with Godwin, this game would be absolutely killer, man. But now we don't have that. Evans, surprisingly enough, he's a questionable. Could play in this contest. Bucky Irving, he's already out. Chris Godwin, he's been ruled out as well. Where Emeka Egbuka, they're just playing coy. They got him on the questionable. I don't think he's suiting up. We all know he's not suiting up in this contest. So the Bake Show is going to be without a lot of his weapons. Still low-level risk for me versus the Detroit Lions. Without a Brian Branch, the defense can be gashed on that back end as well. So fire up a Baker everywhere you got him. Rashad White, it continues for him. Like I said, man, preached at the beginning of this offseason. His role was going no place, even with a Bucky Irving. All it took was Bucky to be injured, and then, he gets his sprinkles. He's killing it, man. 61 points basically in 3 games, man. 3 boom games in a row. Rashad White is legit in this offense with Baker Mayfield, and he's been producing. Fire him up everywhere he got him. Rashawn Tucker, I was fully expecting more of a multi-share backfield. Not happen in volume floor on the red. Only 16-team leagues. Maybe even 14-team. We can trust a Tucker with all these injuries that they have at the wide receiver spot. They may have to run a little bit more. Decoy risk for a Mike Evans, even if he does suit up, you got to believe it's just a decoy effect to pull coverage. That's the only reason why he would play if he's not 100% for me. I mean, Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson, and others at this wide receiver spot, it's going to be very difficult for Baker. So Mike Evans maybe is healed enough to play, just not be a target volume pig in this contest. So decoy risk, I would look in another direction than Mike Evans unless they say he's truly good to go. I'll keep you updated in the comments as well. But Sterling Shepard, target upside, love the play of him this week. Wide receiver 3, flex appeal to a low-end wide receiver 2 is definitely on the docket. And Tez Johnson, mid-level risk. We saw the speed. We saw the abilities. Got good hands. This kid can play ball. We saw it at Oregon, man. He was an absolute dynamo on those slant and goes. Just got to give him a chance as well. Mid-level risk. We can play him as well, especially if a Mike Evans does sit. And Cade Otton, if Mike sits, Cade Otton would get the target PPR upside with TD upside as well. Mid-level risk, I would like the play of a Cade Otton this week as well. Tennessee Titans taking on the New England Patriots. I mean, firing your head coach week 6, I mean, it was warranted and needed because your team was absolutely in shambles. It should uplift this entire team. It's just they don't got the horses, man. No Calvin Ridley this week as well. It is a big problem. Now you got yourselves Tyler Lockett, Alec Aomaner. We got Van Jefferson. Not good news, man. A lot of these wide receivers are still, I mean, Lockett's seen better days. Maybe it does become Lockett day. I just don't like it whatsoever. Cam Ward, low floor, high-level risk like every other week. Mid-level risk for Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears without Calvin Ridley. I think the New England Patriots can pin their ears back and come after this rookie quarterback and this run game. Don't like the play of either of these running backs in this contest. Where Tyler Lockett, high-level risk, low upside. Alec Aomaner's the only one we could likely trust in full PPR leagues, mid-level risk. There is good potential here, and Van Jefferson would act as your outside guy going to the sidelines and going deep as well. PPR floor for me, I don't like it outside of 14 and 16 team leagues. And Chig Okonkwo, he just continues to be an afterthought in fantasy football. Washington Commanders finishing this thing off with the Commies, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Jaden Daniels looked good in his return last week. Stud start of the week. If Bryce Young can rip these guys apart, man, just imagine what JD's going to do. Issue at hand here is injuries as well. Noah Brown, he's on injured reserve. Debo, again, dealing with that heel. He is a true questionable to play this week. Scary Terry's already been ruled out, and Zach Ertz dealing with a shoulder and a calf issue. He should be good to go in this contest, though. But JD, stud start, he'll find anybody open anyway. We play him because the Cowboys' defense is terrible, and there is no digs on the back end. JCM, low-level risk. They're going to have to run the football a lot if Adebo does sit as well. I do like the play of him this week. Low-level risk where Jeremy McNichols would have to be the supportive piece, and I do like a touchdown coming for him in the pass game this week for Jeremy McNichols. PPR upside, mid-level risk. It is a risk, but I do like the potential TDs coming off a screen or a wheel route to a McNichols. Debo, if he does suit up, we're obviously playing him, but I mean, there is injury risk here. He said that heel is giving him issues, and it is quite uncomfortable. So last week we saw he suited up, but he was basically an afterthought. So they basically gave him the game off as a decoy role. Hopefully that's not the case this week. Hopefully he's good enough to play. Injury risk, if he plays, we got to play him and hope for the best in that sense. But Luke McCaffrey stands to be the biggest beneficiary here. Once again this week, mid-level risk. If Debo is sitting, if Debo is hurting, we can play a Luke McCaffrey as he would likely take a number 1 targets in this offense. And Jalen Lane, high-level risk. Unless a Debo sits, then he jumps up to a low floor for me on the mid-level. And Zach Ertz, low-level risk. He's still injured, but he's playing, and I do believe he will be a primary target, especially with Debo's injury. But there you have it. That is week number 7. Starts it lineup advice. Get your questions in the comments. I will definitely get back to y'all. Do me that favor. Hit that like button. Help us grow this channel that much more. Appreciate everybody in this community. And let's get those dubs, man. Nevertheless, as always, don't forget that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.